FreshPrinceYuuup finds the most ridiculous stuff on the internet and talks trash about it. He'll make you laugh while the stuff he talks about might make you cry or afraid. One of his most popular series is called Struggle Meals, where he roasts people for their terrible looking food. Seriously, some food that people choose to post on the internet should never see the light of day and is questionable to say the least. He also covers everything from worst dates ever to worst lies ever told by men and a lot of things in that sort of vein. He is here to call out the silly people. FreshPrinceYuuup is an accomplished entertainer with over 144,000 subscribers and over 29 million total channel views. He has been in the YouTube game for 11 years, which makes him a YouTube veteran. Fresh, how you doing today?
I'm doing good. Thank you for having me on too. I appreciate it.
Of course, yeah. So, my first question is: you've been doing this for 11 years. That's a long time.
Yeah.
Why did you get started, and how has your content kind of changed over the years?
You know what's funny is so I ended up leaving. I'm from Chicago, and I ended up leaving Chicago to go to school for video game design, actually in San Francisco. And when I went there, I hated it. I did not like it at all, and I ended up getting heavily involved in social media. Twitter was out there, right down the street in San Francisco. You know, YouTube's in San Bruno. It's the hub, like the Bay Area, right? And so I got involved in social media, and Twitter was actually really interesting back then in the day. And people were like, "Oh, you're pretty funny. You should start a YouTube channel." I'm like, no, I'm camera shy, like blah blah. But I ended up doing that. I made my first YouTube video. I didn't know how to edit. I learned how to edit from looking at YouTube videos, and then my first video got 50,000 views, because it was a trending topic at the time. It was like shit people say or something, you know, and I did shit people say on Twitter because I was heavily involved in Twitter at the time. And my video ended up getting on World Star Hip Hop, and I'm like, yo, I don't know how this happened. I'm like, this is cool. And then my camera broke, and I didn't make a video for like a year, but I was still interested in doing it. And I ended up dropping out of school for that particular major, and I ended up moving to San Diego so I can like refocus and kind of get things going. And I started up YouTube again.
Right on. I actually just moved from San Diego. I live in Oregon now, but I lived there for 7 years up until November. So
that's actually really funny. Yeah, it's funny because I just left San Diego right before the pandemic and all that. Because it was, you know, I want to be with family and stuff, and it was just like easier. And it's expensive. It's lovely out there, but it's expensive.
Yeah, that is a fact.
Yes,
it's hard to get more expensive than San Diego.
Yep, exactly.
All right, so I would say a big amount of your channel is kind of you talking shit on people, saying, posting ridiculous things. A lot of things like you're reacting to pictures you find on Twitter or whatever. So I am curious, like, how do you find stuff to post? Like all this gross food and all these gross pictures, where do they come from?
So, and you know what's crazy? I don't even know when I started doing those type of videos. It was a while ago, but a lot of people will send me stuff. You know, a lot of people will email me stuff. People will send me stuff on Twitter, my Discord and stuff like that. A lot of the stuff I do research myself. And it's one of those things where it's like, there's fails everywhere. There's been fails on the internet for years, or just in reality for years. You know what I mean? So you're gonna find a topic on anything and everything, could be a fail video, you know what I mean? And you could just talk about like this ridiculousness that is, you know, seen. And one of the best things for me is Twitter, because Twitter is like my main social media that I use still, because there's always like Twitter threads, or it's kind of like, for me, it's kind of like my Reddit, because that's how I keep updated with certain like memes or whatnot and stuff like that. Even if the pictures are trolls, it's still funny to react to, you know?
Yeah, and I think that is one advantage of your channel, is there is kind of an endless stream of ideas, right? It's just a matter of finding things to react to. So I was watching one of your recent videos where it was you making fun of all this super gross food. There was like a picture of a fridge that was open, and it was filled with old hot dogs, and the door was like covered in, I don't even know, it was like black mold.
Apparently it was mold. I don't know what it was, but it looked like Venom, symbiote, however you want to say it. Like, it was disgusting. Like, and that's actually I want to say my most popular series. And it does the best during Thanksgiving because that's when people start cooking the most. You know what I mean? For the most part. And yeah, that series is an ongoing series I have for years. And Struggle Meals is like, my bread and butter on my channel. Like I'll never get rid of it. Like I'm actually going to start my own cooking channel, or I would say a series involving that as well, with like simple basic struggle meals, but actual like stuff you would cook in college. You know what I mean? Not like this gross stuff they're making,
Well, okay, so you want to show people how to make simple meals that
Yeah,
are
yeah. And I'm
delicious.
not like yeah, I'm not like a chef or anything. So we're just gonna make like simple stuff that like you ever like see something on TikTok or something really cool. Like I'm gonna save this, but you're never gonna make it. I'm gonna have like 5 ingredient like type meals you can make at home that you'll actually make.
Have you ever seen the Instagram called Boys Who Can Cook? And it's just
Yes,
pictures of like
yes,
really gross.
yes.
I'm struggling to think of an example right now, but it's
No, I know exactly where you're talking. I used to get a lot of my content from them. I actually, now that you mention, it, I completely forgot they existed. Like, I think I was getting my content from them, and someone told me I could be completely wrong, but I remember seeing like the original page owner had like passed away. So I was like, and like they weren't posting for years, and then someone who was another like admin on there had access to it and forgot and started like updating it again.
Yeah. So one thing that I like to focus on this podcast is kind of the
Hmm.
business side of YouTube. So I am
Yeah.
curious, like, do you see YouTube as a business? Is it more of a hobby? Is it kind of a side hustle for you? Like,
Yeah.
what is YouTube to you? And then also, how have you decided to monetize it?
So YouTube to me in the beginning was a hobby, like, and that's how everyone should treat it in the beginning. Like people go on there, and that's why YouTube, in my opinion, started doing all these restrictions when it came to like channel. Like you can't just get youtube.com/ whatever name you want right away because people would just think they're gonna go viral with their stupid video and then like just leave. So YouTube started doing all these prerequisites, like you gotta have 1,000 followers or subscribers, you gotta have 10,000 hours of watch time, like blah blah blah, this and that. But it's just crazy that this has developed into a business, into a brand. You know what I mean? And so for me, it was a hobby at first, and it's still a hobby, and I have fun with it. But it's just it's the fact that you can turn this hobby into a business and build it, and you have to treat it as such. And for me, like, I've been on here for 11 years. I'm not the biggest, like, I don't have the most following, but I've also been inconsistent. And I know with these platforms, you need to be consistent. And that's what I've been doing in these past few months is being consistent. This is the most growth and most views I've had in a long time. And with that comes the subscribers, with that comes the engagement, with that comes the money, stuff like that. Because these people who start off YouTube channels and they do one video, or they tell people, hey, I'm starting a YouTube channel, follow me, and have no content on there, you don't do that. Like, because YouTube doesn't, or any social media platform doesn't notify all these people like, hey, they posted their first video. They'll notify like maybe like 10% of that. You know what I mean? So you gotta have videos ready and have a schedule, or like be consistent. Like, not if you're big enough, you don't really have to have a schedule. But in the beginning, you got to think of it as a business. Like, you got to come to work. You don't come to work and then not go the next day. You got to be consistent. That's the biggest thing. But the business aspect, yeah.
So Fresh.
Hmm.
One of the aspects of YouTube that some people don't know quite how to talk about, but they're also very curious about, is the business side. So, what are some ways that you've monetized your channel, and also, what is YouTube to you? Is it more of a business? Is it more of a hobby?
Yeah. So for me, YouTube started off as a hobby, and it's still a hobby. And I think people should treat it as such, because sometimes when you treat it as only a job, you get burnt out from jobs. You can get burnt out from hobbies too, but like hobbies are one of those things you can pick up whenever you want. Jobs, you get burnt out. Like, you see who the manager is, you see we got to work with. You don't want to come to jobs all the time. You know what I mean? So you got to treat YouTube as a hobby, but you also got to treat it as your brand. So it's still business. But one of the biggest things when it comes to YouTube is upload stuff that you like. If it's something that you like and it's still part of a trend, cool. But don't like do exactly what someone else is doing because it got 10 million views. Like, you're probably not gonna get 10 million views too. And there are channels who are successful doing that, but it's rare. And you got to upload stuff that you like so you stay consistent with it. And when you're consistent with it, it becomes something that could build your brand and turn into a business. And then that's when you can start getting the viewers, and people see that in your videos. That you're displaying that. Like if you're just copying someone, you're not happy doing that stuff. You got to do stuff that you like, and you will get a lot more engagement, a lot more sincere and just followers and subscribers, because people want to see what type of content you put out. And that's what I did with my YouTube. I'm from Chicago. We just roast people just to do it. Like, and it's not in a hurtful way, but we just clown stuff, and like, if you weren't clowning stuff, you were getting clowned, and that's something I like to do. And I like to stay on like relatable topics, trending topics, anything that I can find funny stuff in. Like my most liked video is talking about women with stretch marks, and it rubs them the wrong way when they see the title. But when they look at the video, it's body positivity, and you have to have fun with stuff, because there's certain things that people see that they want to see, but they don't know how to kind of display that like on camera. And you just got to get comfortable in front of the camera and be consistent. And that's when you can start making money. But like, you got to start YouTube off as a hobby and just be consistent.
And I remember you mentioning you have a Discord server, correct?
Yeah. Yes, exactly. And I actually just started this probably during the beginning of the pandemic. I was like, I need to get a community like where I can like find pictures easier and just have them like be able to communicate and have fun with each other, play video games, play, card games, whatever, stuff like that. And I started that, and I wish I would have started early. There's a lot of things I wish I would have started earlier, and stuff like that. New people come to the Discord server and are interested. Like, they might be bored during the pandemic too and want to like play video games with someone. They don't have someone to play with. It's crazy how other social media platforms will help you build your YouTube channel or whatever you're trying to build.
So what are some ways that you've used other social media platforms to help your YouTube channel? You obviously have a Discord where you've cultivated the community there. But what about Instagram or Twitter or all that?
Okay, so one of the things too is after I moved to San Francisco, hated game design, I switched my major over to marketing. And for me, I researched a lot about social media in every other platform. And social media has changed over the years a lot, like the algorithms, how you promote yourself, blah, 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 this and that. And people hit me up all the time, I want to start a YouTube channel. And to me, in my head, I'm like, good luck, because YouTube is cool because they have an algorithm. You could probably catch wind somewhere along the line, but the best way right now to start like a channel and stuff like that and is make TikToks. TikToks help people. You can get 1 million views on one video out of nowhere, you know what I mean? And then one video that has 0 views from a couple months ago can blow up because it's their algorithms all over the place. But I utilize social media platforms like Twitter, Instagram, and even Snapchat. I tested like paid ads one time and stuff like that. Paid ads is different because it's like I would rather get organic, but social media platforms help out a lot. And one of the things too is that all these social media platforms are competing with each other, because TikTok is like, I don't go on YouTube to look at shorts, you know what I mean? So YouTube is promoting YouTube shorts like crazy. I know people whose main videos are regular YouTube videos, but you start adding shorts into the mix because they're trying to compete with TikTok. That they will push those videos so much. And same thing with Instagram Reels. Instagram, you have 1,000 followers, right? Say something like that. You're only getting 100 likes, if that, because Instagram is all over the place. It's not chronological order, blah, 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 this and that. But since they're trying to compete with TikTok, you post an Instagram reel, all of a sudden you got 3,000 likes and you don't even have that many followers. You know what I mean? It's because they're trying to compete with each other. And once you start realizing that digital like videos are the best way to like grow, and not just like, because Instagram used to be just a picture, like, I'll post a picture. Now you got to post videos. Everywhere you got to post videos to get that type of promotion from other social media platforms to say, drive them over to like YouTube or whatever you're trying to grow.
So, and do you use YouTube to promote any like other business, or is YouTube the business?
I used to promote my Twitch a lot more, but like I wanted to like I said, YouTube is like my baby. That's my bread and butter. So the thing is getting someone to a platform, from one platform to another, is very hard. People are, stubborn. They don't want to leave the platform, blah, 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 this and that. So say I had a gaming channel. I'm actually going to rebrand my gaming channel, like complete start over. It's kind of like a test for myself. getting people to go to that gaming channel, pretty easy, right? Because they're not leaving YouTube. It's easy just to go to that channel because it swipes over, blah, blah, you subscribe, right? Getting people over to Twitch is hard. And that's why when you see these people promoting like stuff on Instagram stories and stuff like that, I think a good, say like this person had 1 million followers and they're promoting on their story, they're only getting 2% clicks on there. On those links, and then you're getting even less people to buy the product or download the product. So it's really bad to get someone to leave a page. It does help, but like it's the I guess the ratio for someone to actually go into that link is very low. So you still have to utilize these other social media platforms because anything helps, but it's very hard to get someone to leave a different platform to go to another. So I keep my YouTube stuff straight on YouTube now, and that is why I've seen so much growth on my YouTube in this past like month when it comes to views, because I've been consistent and I've been uploading regularly.
Yeah, I mean, uploading regularly is probably the most important thing, just because I'm not of the opinion that the algorithm helps you if you upload more regularly. It's more just that you have more opportunities for the algorithm to love you.
Exactly.
And that's kind of a subtle distinction. But, when you're releasing more often, you're more likely to have a video that blows up and then feeds into your other videos.
Exactly.
And so that's kind of like the key to consistency is not to focus too much on wanting every video to do super well. It's more just you're infiltrating the system.
Exactly. Yeah, and I feel like people think that's like your previous video doesn't have to be the best of the best, and then your next one has to be as long as you're genuine and you're uploading stuff you like, cool. Like not everyone's gonna like the content that you want to put out. That's okay, because you start growing and then someone else likes that content more than the other. You know what I mean? So you gotta just put stuff you like, and it's people get like disheartened because they want their favorite videos to do the best, and it doesn't work that way sometimes. Not everyone has the same personality or like mentality that you have, and it just happens. You can't not let that stop you. And like I see some like chefs who start on TikTok too, and they're like, I don't understand, like I'm doing all this stuff like for YouTube or for TikTok, and they have all these production studio lights, blah blah blah. No, like, that's cool to look at, but people want to make stuff they want to like are able to make, like like they might be favoriting your videos. They're not making this stuff. They like seeing real genuine stuff. You know what I mean? And if maybe it's relatable to other chefs and stuff, they can make that in 2 minutes. But like, or the average person's not going to make that. And that's how you have to keep that mindset when it comes to making your own content.
Yeah, and it's clear to me from watching your videos that, like, you are yourself on camera. I mean, you're a version of yourself. I'm sure you're not sitting around the dinner table reacting to tweets.
Yeah, exactly.
But, it's you in front of the camera. You got some pictures. You say some funny things. You cut it all together. And it's, it's pretty personal in a way.
Yeah.
So did it take you time to kind of come up with that format, or did it kind of just start that way and you've kept it ever since?
So my whole thing was like I kind of started with like the roasting type thing, like relatable content in the beginning, and I was uncomfortable in front of the camera. I look at my videos from years ago to now, and I'm like, whoa, that's a big difference. I'm like, why would people watch me back then? You know what I mean? Like it's to me it's embarrassing, but like it's whatever. It's all about growth, because like if I start YouTube now, I'd be in that same boat I was at 10 years ago or 11 years. You know what I mean? So it's like, you got to stick with it. Like, it's, if you feel like, like for myself, like I was like, cool, I want to stick with this. Like, and don't get me wrong, you can get influenced by other people who are doing videos. That's the best way to start too, but I was like, I want to keep with this format, blah, blah. And it started evolving over time. And then you will get influenced. That's why they're called influenced by other people. Like I see like, some of my favorite like channels and whatnot. And I'm like, cool. You start molding yourself into like, bettering at editing and stuff like that, or just better in front of the camera and more comfortable in front of the camera, and it comes with time how you're gonna end up being at, because I guarantee you where I'm at right now is gonna be completely different in like 3 years. You know what I mean?
So do you have any big goals with your channel? Like, do you have an end goal, or are you just kind of like, I take it day by day?
I do have a end goal, especially now that like I've realized what I need to do, because one of the things I do with like YouTube now is look at it from an analytical form. And you look at and YouTube has the YouTube analytics. You can look at like when to post, when your subscribers are most active, stuff like that. You see the things that YouTube's helping you with, and then what you can do to capitalize on that. And so the biggest thing for me is like, I want to, obviously I think everyone's goal is like, let's hit 1 million subscribers, and then outside of that, I would love to like get opportunities outside of YouTube, whether it's like a spot on Netflix or something, you know what I mean? Just, I would love to do something that, because I'm not going to be a YouTuber at 80 years old, you know what I mean? So it's like, I want to do something that's going to help me grow, but also bring in more opportunities outside of YouTube as well. And that's one of my biggest goals. I want to collab more with people. I want to get a group together of people who are content creators, whether you're big or small, and just good in front of the camera, funny in front of the camera, where it's stuff that I still want to do, because I don't want to copy anyone. I still want to have a group of people that are fun to work with, because when I think the people who are most successful are the people who work with other people. There's definitely some people who are the prodigies and don't work with that many people, but like there's like groups together are most comfortable in front of the camera. Because when I do videos with my sister, like when we stumble and fumble along our words, like it's funny because we just laugh it off. But like when you're in front of the camera by yourself, you see that red light turn on, you're like, you're self-conscious, you're your biggest critic and stuff like that. So that's my biggest goal, is to just really work with more people and grow my channel. Now that I know kind of like what to do and like how to do it, and just get more opportunities and go on Netflix, be like a side character on a show. I don't care, like just anything.
Yeah, and that is the interesting thing about YouTube, is it can turn into lots of other things. Because as you said, like you can work with other people know people, and you never really know where things are going to take you. And I think that's one of the exciting things about YouTube. And like for me, I don't know if I've ever had a larger goal beyond just wanting to entertain people or like show them something they've never seen before. But as far as like, what do I want YouTube to be in 10 years? I don't know. I want to be happy and financially stable and
exactly.
So is YouTube I don't think I've asked you this, but is YouTube a side hustle, or is it like your main full-time job for you?
So it's funny that you say this. I want to say about 2 months ago, I got a job at ESPN. Okay.
Ooh.
And YouTube, I can kind of put YouTube on the back burner, and I'm like super excited for this job at ESPN, right? Like I'm like, oh, ESPN, like blah, 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 this and that. Hated it. I absolutely hated it. Okay.
What were you doing there?
So I was their digital media producer or video producer, whatever you want to call it. And I was doing their like NBA highlights, NHL highlights, blah, blah, and uploading them to YouTube, because they were like, oh, YouTube, like, blah. Because I have YouTube on my resume. So that's a big thing, because a lot of people don't understand YouTube, whether it's the front end or the back end. And so they hired me strictly off YouTube. A lot of these people don't care about degrees. As long as you have the skills, that's all they care about. So I got hired there, and like the hours sucked. I was working late nights, and I felt burnt out from just anything. I wasn't filming, like blah, blah, blah. And they were telling me, oh, you got to move to Connecticut. I'm like, I'm not moving to Connecticut. Like, I want to stay here. I'm tired of moving. You know what I mean? And like, first of all, Connecticut's expensive, and what they were paying was not worth me moving to Connecticut, and it's owned by Disney, which makes it even worse. I mean, you guys make billions, trillions of dollars. Like, what are you guys doing? But I worked there, and I quit, and I'm like, it's one of those things where it's like, you don't know what you have until it's gone. And I'm like, YouTube, I missed you. I missed you. Like, come back, So YouTube right now is my main thing. And that's why I'm like, I learned a lot actually at ESPN in those few months. That's why I learned about those like TikTok shorts or the YouTube shorts and stuff, because they were gaming the system when it comes to that, but they have like the, so much media they can use from other, like, all these sports companies. So they can upload shorts every 2 seconds if they wanted to, But I learned a lot in that little few weeks, but I also learned that I need to do what makes me happy, and YouTube makes me happy, and this is my full-time gig now.
Right on. So like, how many hours a week would you say you put into this? And I guess like, how do you organize your time?
So I feel like when I was younger, I was like doing a video, then editing that night, and like not, but like also My videos back then were like 3-4 minutes, like now, like if you want more money on your videos, you got to make them 10 minutes plus. I think it's 8 minutes now, but I still make them 10 minutes plus. So I used to record like 2 videos a night, but like now it's like I'm making videos and I'll kind of chill on that video that day. Next day I'll edit it and then upload it. And then I'll research that day. Like right now, I just uploaded a video before this. I'm going to research what my next video is going to be. I already have kind of an idea, but I'm just going to grab content, And then tomorrow, what I'm trying to do is film again. And then every other day I'm trying to do so. But like, cause you can get burnt out from anything, you don't want, like, I think people don't realize, and it's been thrown around all over. It's mental health. You don't want to burn yourself out and like not do this stuff. So my whole thing is like, I'll film one day, chill on that night, play video games for the night with my friends, whatever. And then the next day I'll edit and then upload it, and then rinse and repeat. And that's something that's good for me. The people who do like daily uploads and all this stuff, I don't have an editor. This is just all me, So if I had an editor, cool. But like, and then it's like, I want to start my gaming channel and stuff like that. So it's like, I got to kind of like, I got a system for my main channel right now. And then I can involve the other channels, stuff like that. So I do my own thing, but I pretty much film every other day right now. And so sometimes I'll take a couple days off just to have that, but that's my system.
Mm-hmm. So I have an editing question for you, because as somebody who has spent many hours editing, sometimes these things pop up in my head. So with your style, you'll often like crack a joke and then you'll cut to some like silly meme video.
Yeah.
How do you find those videos? So I guess just as an example, there was like a picture of a sausage that had its skin removed, and it was just like the inside of a sausage in a hot dog bun. It was super gross.
Yes.
And then you like made some joke, and then it cut to this old animation of like these kids kind of dancing and singing, saying LOG log.
Yeah.
And like, so how do you find that stuff?
Those
weird clips.
So a lot of the stuff I'll find on newer stuff I'll find on Twitter. But like that LOG song, that log song, like I have a weird memory when it comes to like stuff that I remember from a kid or like when I was a teenager, stuff like that. But like I'll meet someone and forget their name in a second, but I'll remember that. Like that video, that clip is from Ren and Stimpy, and I remember that, and I don't know why it just stood out. I have a folder of just memes, and I actually this past summer I organized them to find them easier and stuff. And I think it's like 600-700 like video clips that I'll input in videos. Wow.
But
this is me saving them over the past like 10 years or so, But like stuff like that, I'll just remember. And when I'm like, say I'm filming right now, just so I don't forget what clip to use, I'll like say it in the clips, and then I'll turn off the recording. Like, oh, use this clip, like blah blah. And then once I'm done editing, I'll rewatch the video, make sure the edits are cool. And then if I want to add a meme in between, cool, I'll do that as well. But I have just such a weird memory. I'm like, oh, this would be a funny clip to add to this from this movie or this cartoon or this anime, and people always ask me, and I'm just like, dude, I do not know why I remember this stuff.
Yeah, one thing I love about your channel is like all the Dragon Ball Z references. You have your intro with Vegeta talking about his wrath and screaming, and I mean, it's epic, dude. I love it.
And
as somebody who's watched DBZ way too many times,
I love Dragon Ball Z. Is like that's something one of like we all grew up in. That's why I made my new intro like the Toonami intro, and that's why I want to like still put my twist to it, but like even my background stuff. I had this like 17-year-old kid like do this like anime Photoshop, and I was like, dude, I'm gonna put these on canvases. These are cool. You know what I mean? Like all this like Naruto stuff like that. It's I like to add my like own twist to things, whether it's anime clips, cartoons, videos, or just old vines, and I think it adds to that funny aspect, and it catches people off guard when you add that stuff, and it still relates to like what you're talking, because everyone has these dumbfounded faces when they're looking at some of these pictures, like that skinless bratwurst or whatever it was, so it's like throw that in there, and it's like it makes it even funnier.
Yeah, it's funny. Over the years, I've also accumulated a bunch of memes. I just have a big folder with just a bunch of crazy memes.
Yep.
And it's probably one of the silliest things about working on YouTube is the fact that even exists. And
Yep.
not only that it exists, but it's extremely useful.
It is. Yes. And I actually make sure I have a hard drive an extra hard drive just in case, like, you know, because I frequently update that meme folder, and I'm like, if I lose these, I'm gonna be so sad. Like, you know.
Yeah, they're a source of your power, you could
Yeah,
say.
exactly.
Because yeah, memes are funny. They're such a good way to spice things up, right? You say
Exactly.
something that's like funny in and of itself, but then you have the perfect meme to cut to. And
Exactly.
It's just like, blah,
Exactly.
It makes the joke that much better.
It's just like, you know, it's climactic point in the joke, you know, because okay, like when I'm looking at my videos, I'm like, cool, this is funny, and that's how I was editing years ago, like when I first started. But I'm like, how can we get more flair to this? And like I said, that's why I watch other YouTubers and stuff, like, you know, and like you get influence and stuff. So I started making my own meme folder, and I'm like, this is cool. Like, I'm gonna add to this, and like I see, even like Fortnite creators, I noticed how they were editing, but they have really quick edits. So it's kind of like if you're like 12, that's like cool. But like I do my own thing to make it where people of all ages can still get the joke or whatnot, you know.
Yeah, so is pacing something that you really pay attention to in your videos? Like, are you going out of your way to make sure there's never a dull moment?
I try, like, and it's funny too, because I just spoke about this, because, you know, people will tell me like, oh, your old videos used to be funnier, like blah blah blah, this and that. Like, I miss the Savage Fresh. I'm like, okay, the thing is that, like I said, social media has changed. Like, you got to adapt or you get left behind. Like, I have friends who have 2 million followers and they don't upload anymore because YouTube sees prank videos as harassment, and technically it is, you know. And now with COVID, nobody wants to be touched or, you know what I mean. So it's like you have to adapt or get left in the dust. And so for me, I stopped cursing in my videos, really, like, I'll say like ass, whatever, but like, you know, I stopped cursing in my videos like in what was it, 2016, 17, and that's fine. I don't mind making family friendly content, and I speak a lot more, and it's more genuine to me instead of just like sitting in front of the camera. And it's still roast, but like I sometimes I'll like, you know, veer off and like say like a story time like really quick or something, you know. And so you just gotta adapt, and that's what I did with my channel.
Yeah, and I think adapting is probably the most important thing. You said that you stopped swearing around 2016, 2017. Was that because of the adpocalypse?
The adpocalypse killed a lot of stuff, and till this day, and I had, like I said, someone had just commented on my video saying, oh, I want this fresh back. I'm like, you're commenting on a video that's literally demonetized because YouTube doesn't like this stuff. Like, I'm not bringing this content back because this is my job. You know what I mean? I don't get wrong, that was cool back in the day. And I love making family friendly content because that more eyes on my channel, more sponsorships, because I'm not doing this like, you know, raunchy, explicit like videos, you know. And the apocalypse killed a lot of people's channels. And I get it because of what happened during that time, but you got, like you said, you got to adapt. And if you don't adapt, like I'm telling you, I have friends who have 2 million subs and they just don't upload anymore because they weren't changing their content. And it's the fact that they even tried to build different brands on a new channel, and people were like, hey, why aren't you uploading this? And they just were getting tired of it, you know?
And for those who don't know, the adpocalypse was a catastrophic event on YouTube where the advertisers, like most of the corporations that were running ads on YouTube, pulled their ads off because there was some questionable videos that algorithms were putting ads on.
Yeah.
That corporations were like, hey, we don't want to put our ads on YouTube just in case it shows up on something super offensive.
Yep.
So it took YouTube quite a long time to figure out how to tweak their algorithm. So what they ended up doing to appease their advertisers was they made it really hard to get monetized for a while. Like, they would demonetize you super easily. So you had to be very careful. So for my channel, we swore a lot. And then when the adpocalypse happened, we swore a lot less.
Yep.
And so it's kind of like it was a weird time in YouTube history. Now I think YouTube is pretty good at like making it so you can still swear and it's not going to totally screw you over. But like it's not how it used to be.
No,
but I think it's a lot better now.
it definitely is, because I'll say a couple things or content like every once in a while, but like as long as that's not the main thing you guys are doing, like then you're good, you know. Because I'm like, how's this guy cursing and doing this, like blah, you know. But I've seen people who are mad because they won't even get their YouTube plaques because YouTube's like, no, we're not going to send this to you. They might have done that before 2016 or 17ish before the apocalypse, but like now it's like no, because they'll be like your content this and that. And like even some of their YouTube names, I'm like, how? Like and that's what I think bothered me back in the day. I'm like, how's this guy blowing up? But my channel's not and it's family friendly or like, you know, but like it's because a lot of people like that type of stuff still, you know, but the person who runs that channel is not doing well when it comes to like they're not making money off it, and so like they can't keep that going, you know, and it stinks, but like you said, just gotta adapt.
Yeah, it is what it is, and
yep,
we always gotta change.
Yeah.
So you mentioned earlier that you do try to keep things positive, like you talk a lot of smack, but also you tend to like I feel like you give good advice in your videos, or like you don't side with the bad guy. You're a pretty wholesome dude in general.
Yeah.
Like do you go out of your way to do that? Is that just kind of who you are?
No, I think when I was younger, I was just like I could post whatever, and like as you get older, you realize like it's not even a right from wrong. It's just like, you know, you've grown up, you know what I mean? And I realize, you know, some of the videos back in the day I might not have posted. I don't think I posted anything like too like scandalous or anything like that. But it's you just realize like, you know, I'll never target like a group of people or anything. I'm not like that. Like my jokes are just meant to be funny, you know. I never try to target anyone, you know, or anything that's like, you know, could offend someone. And like just recently I posted or not recently, I guess it was like a year or two ago. Like it was like the R. Kelly memes, you know. Obviously I don't support R. Kelly, but the R. Kelly memes were hilarious because he was like freaking out during this interview. I'm sure, and people were offended. I'm like, bro, I'm making fun of, I'm not supporting R. Kelly, you know what I mean? These memes are hilarious and they're all over the internet and I think they're funny to react to, you know? So, but like when I see, you know, some people message me, and I've had subscribers pass away and stuff like that. And like it stinks because like, that's just life. And people will hit me up like saying like, you know, my dog passed away. You know, I try to respond as much as I can. It definitely gets difficult because it's a lot of messages, but like, I try to like, you know, be as genuine as possible.
Yeah, and I think that's always a good idea on YouTube. The more genuine you are, the easier your life is going to be.
Yeah.
I over the years did a lot of scripted content where, you know, I would like write a script and then say it into the camera, and it worked. But I mean, it's a lot more work, and you tend to not garner as dedicated of an audience. You're kind of constantly sitting in a dark room trying to think of something to say, and then eventually you say it into a camera. But it's just, you're better off being authentic and off the cuff if you have the personality for that.
Exactly. Yeah, because scripted stuff does work for some people, but like, you know, there's people who are like, are you like that off camera? I'm like, yes, all the time. You know what I mean? I'm clowning all the time, you know, like, and it's like, you know, I definitely have my serious moments, but the thing is that like, there's like, I've seen these Minecraft channels. It's like, you know, grown men with Minecraft, and there's nothing wrong with that. Like, you know, but they're catering to people who like Minecraft a lot, which is usually kids. And like, they have this like bubbly personality, and sometimes that's not them, you know? And it's like, that would drive me insane coming to work being fake every day. Like, no, if I'm starting a Minecraft channel, I'm still clowning, you know?
Yeah, for real. Like, if you're having fun, it's gonna come across. It'll be
yeah,
obvious.
Exactly.
And so do you try to follow trends really, or do you just kind of like do whatever? You obviously have these series like Struggle Meals, Cringe Watch, and just kind of general fails. Do you kind of just post whatever, or do you try to, I think I see a Will Smith, Chris Rock video here.
Yeah. And like, even that, like, so I try to follow trends when it comes to, I know memes are going to come out. I knew memes were going to come out of that Will Smith thing. And even, one I think I did in like December or January was the Detroit Urban Survival Training guy, the guy who was all over like trying. Yes. There's so many memes and videos that he had, and like with YouTube, I didn't monetize that video because I don't know if it was violent. So I was like, I'm not gonna like play around, like, but brought me a lot of subscribers. You know what I mean? So it's like I try to follow trends where I think I can do something funny out of it. You know what I mean? And especially like the Will Smith, Chris Rock one. Like there was so many memes even after I made the video. I'm like, I gotta do part 2 of it, but I didn't want to like, drag it out. But still, like that was funny. And whether you disagree or agree with Chris Rock or Will Smith, whatever, like I'm just here for the memes, bro.
It always comes back to the memes.
Yeah, exactly.
It's words to live by for sure. So yeah. You said you're starting a video game channel, is that correct?
Yeah. So my thing is that when I say I was like inconsistent, I was like really inconsistent on my channel. So I started a gaming channel and it was I thought about like completely starting over, and I'm like, but the people who came from my channel were all like, oh, where's the struggle meals? Like, blah, blah. So it was ruining like my watch time, my subscribers, like, blah, blah. I'm like, I have like 5,000 people on this channel, but I'm only getting like 500, like not even 500 views on the video. And I'm like, and video game videos can be very long and long to edit, stuff like that. So what I'm going to do is the people who are on my Discord, those are like probably 99% of the people who like anime and video games and stuff like that. I'm going to announce it in there and then build it from that. I'm not going to announce on my main, because I kind of want to start over and test what I know and just build it from the ground up, because I feel like I have a good idea and I'm keeping up with like the social media algorithms and whatnot to see, especially like I said, what I learned from ESPN, with the whole YouTube Shorts, TikTok, blah, 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 Instagram Reels and stuff like that. So what I learned from that and my own knowledge, I think it's going to help out a lot. And it's going to be a grind. But I love gaming, and I think that's going to be really fun. And with how I still edit, like it's still, the little clips in between, it's going to make it funny, So I'm excited to start that. It's going to be probably around the summer when I start that.
Sure. And I do want to say, I think it's smart that you're only really going to pitch it to the people in your Discord server, as opposed to like really pitching it hard on your main channel. Because the problem with pitching things on your main channel is you may end up getting a big influx of subscribers, which is cool, but how many of them will actually continue to watch your videos?
Exactly.
And I don't know if having dead subscribers hurts you necessarily, but I think at the very least it makes a channel look more bloated.
Yeah, exactly.
And as you said, like you wanted to test what you've learned at ESPN or in just whatever else you've learned over the years. And I've kind of had the same thoughts of like, when I start a new channel, I kind of just want to start from scratch. I don't want to use my big channel to promote the smaller one, because I want to know, can I just do this organically? Like what happens if I just start from zero?
Exactly.
It's should be an interesting test.
And it's going to be a challenge, but that's when you start off doing the YouTube stuff still, like as a hobby, like we spoke about. Like you don't want to start it off like as a business. Obviously you want to build that brand, but start it off. And I feel like with the whole Discord thing, I know people came there for the anime and the video game and just to chat, and like, because I have people ask me all the time, let's game, let's do this, blah, blah. And so I know that, and it's not a lot of people in the Discord. It's not like I have 10,000 people in that Discord. It's just a few hundred, right? But I know those people are there for the gaming content. And like, I even asked them for suggestions for names and like type of content they want to see, or for the gaming content, stuff like that. So I think I'd rather have those 200-300 people in there or whatever it is be subscribed to me than me announcing on my main channel, because I already tested it out and I did not like the results. And so I'm like, you know what? We're stopping this, going to focus on the main channel. I'll separate that. And if you want to join the Discord and figure that out, cool. But I'm going to separate that, because every other comment was, hey, yo, when's the next you have one job? When's the next struggle? I'm like, bro, I am playing a scary video game. Like, I'm scared, okay? I don't know when these next videos are going to be. It's like, that's for the main channel stuff. But whatever. Like you said, test it out and see how it goes.
For sure. And so I think one of the most fun parts of YouTube is the community aspect of it. You can have a group of people who they kind of gather around you, and they end up interacting with each other in ways they never otherwise would have. So I'm kind of specifically talking about your Discord server right now. There's a million ways to run a Discord server. I'm curious, like, how do you run your Discord? Like, how do you maintain your community?
So for me, like, I was in a few Discords before, but I was like never heavily involved in it. But I didn't realize, people really enjoy Discord, and like I had a lot of knowledgeable people when it came to Discord. So they told me how to set it up. They told me to, set up voice channels and private channels and stuff like that. And so I got a group of admins or not admins, mods, to help me run that. And they just, keep things and make sure everything, like, I'm not getting spammed and people aren't saying anything inappropriate, because we want that to still be a safe space where people can say, talk. And like, so we have a venting channel just in case, like, you're going through some stuff, but like, you don't say, none of that stuff leaves that channel, stuff like that. And I think when you have like, and it's wild too, because there's people who commented and talk in these Discord servers or channels, and they've never commented on my videos, and that's fine. I'm not stressing on anyone. Like, some people would like just be a background character, or not. I guess that's the wrong way to put it, but or just like not, be active on the comment section. But like, it's cool to see people I've never seen comment before on my videos get active in this community and like speak and like, and make friends, and like they're all interacting and mingling together all the time, and I love that, and so I just try to keep it open mind. And like, we've definitely had to ban a couple of people because they said some inappropriate things, and it's just a zero tolerance thing. And like, if I clown people and joke around and stuff like that on my channel, but like, I don't want anyone to feel unsafe or feel demeaned or anything like that, if that's a correct term, when they come to Discord. I want everyone to feel welcome.
And so how often are you in your server? Like, so one thing I've kind of struggled with over the years, so with my channel, Teresical, we have and had a Discord server that was pretty big. I mean, it had thousands of people in it, and it was kind of, I guess it felt like a time sink sometimes. I did enjoy a lot of the people in there, and I'm grateful for the server, but I guess I found myself having to be available all the time, and that was like one of the hard parts I found about kind of maintaining a community. How do you deal with that?
To be honest, I tell people, leave me alone. Because it's hard. It's another job. And the thing is that I told my mods, if y'all feel someone's being inappropriate, kick them. Don't even tell me. I mean, if you want to send me save a screenshot just in case, because I've had some other guy try to come back like 2 days ago, and I'm like, we have a screenshot of you saying something that you shouldn't be saying, And so I tell people, this is your channel. If you want to create or this is your Discord, if you want to create a new channel for this reason, do it. My thing is like, if you need me, like, let me know. But if it's not, like, because it can become super overwhelming, and it's just like, because I had to turn off my mentions, I had to turn off my DMs, because people were like, hey, buy me this video game, hey, do this, hey, so it becomes so overwhelming. And I told my mods, like, yo, just run it, because I can't be there 24/7. I'm trying to, my mental capacity can only handle so much when it comes to like YouTube, my job, life, stuff like that. And it's one thing where I realized you can't let that overtake like anything else, at least for me. And some people probably are on it more active, and I'll check it every once in a while, throughout the week, whatever, because I'm in like my friends' servers and stuff, so it's not hard to like browse over, but I can't be active like as people want. But they're all communicating and talking amongst each other, so it's like, they know I'm here, they know I'm uploading videos. If I hadn't uploaded like 2 months, maybe like something's wrong, but like, I have to take a step back and just like let them do that.
Yeah, and you do, I think some people are afraid to do that,
Yeah.
They feel like people are in the Discord server for me,
Yeah.
so if I'm not there enough, then it's a disaster.
Yeah.
But really, I think the goal of any Discord server is, yes, you do want to be available sometimes.
Yeah.
But only often enough as you're willing and able to do. And then also, you do want to cultivate a kind of self-sustaining community where people are interacting with each other. And, figure they all came to this server because they like you. That means on some level, they think similarly to the way that you think.
Exactly.
And I think you can kind of trust that your vibe has attracted a community of people that is inherently going to meld well together, except for the occasional, troublemaker.
Yeah.
A band hammer.
Exactly. And like, when it comes to like my mod, because some people leave the server, like, I'm not like holding you hostage there, and like some of the mods have left, and some of the other mods will be like, hey, I think we need a couple more mods. Cool. Hey, appoint someone as a mod, because if that's easier to help them manage it with mods that they can trust and stuff, cool, so be it, because I'm not going to be there 24/7, you know? So I want them to be able to run that without me. And like you said, sustain it within that community. Cause like you said, you get the troublemaker every once in a while. Sometimes you get spam from random outside people joining and stuff like that. So it helps me a lot knowing that they are helping me run that.
Awesome. And yeah, it feels good to have a community too. And it's good to interact with people and kind of see what they like, what they don't like, kind of what works, what doesn't. Because YouTube comments are useful, of course. There's plenty of good feedback there, and plenty of bad feedback too. But I do find with Discord servers, it's kind of another level of togetherness.
I think Discord has definitely opened my eyes. And like I said, I wish I would have started it earlier, but like, you know, better late than never. And those are the fans that will watch like any type of content you put up. Because I've tested different styles of content. Because you get I didn't really like this video, like blah blah blah. I'm doing it for me, you know what I mean? And like that might bring in a new audience, you know. So it's like the people on my Discord, when they give me ideas and stuff like that, I'm like, cool, you know, I might try this. Like, some of the ideas are terrible, but like, you know, others are like kind of good. So it's like I keep an open mind to stuff like that. And Discord has definitely helped out a lot and brought people together, you know. And like I said, I've never seen 90% of those people ever in like they're in this community where it's, you know, a small group of people just like talk amongst each other. And I think that's super cool.
For real. Well, Fresh, we have hit about an hour here. So
cool. I didn't know.
Yeah, we're moving fast for sure. So if you had one of like the most important piece of advice for succeeding on YouTube, what would it be?
The most important advice is being real to yourself. You know what I mean? If you can upload one video a week and that's all you can commit to, just do that, you know, but be consistent and do that. Like if you think you can upload every other day or every day, cool, do that. But don't stop after a month. Don't stop after 3 weeks. Don't expect to get 1 million views in one day. So just stick with it and share. The most important thing you do in the beginning, because like you said, you're not going to get 1 million views right away. Share with your family and friends, you know, because those little views help. And that gets you in the algorithm a lot more. So share it with your family and friends and share it on social media platforms where you know your family and friends are following you or people that support you. Just stick with it, be consistent, and treat it as a hobby. Don't treat it as like, oh, I'm about to get paid. Like, how much money can I get? No, treat it as something that you want to do. Don't start a YouTube channel because you think, you know, all these YouTubers are making $1 million a month, stuff like that. Start because you want to do that. You know what I mean? You want to get more comfortable in front of the camera. You want to get better speaking skills or whatever. You know what I mean? Start it with that goal in mind and not money. And think of this, think a year from now that you're still not making money, but you're still having fun with it. You know what I mean?
Right on. Well, so where can people find you?
You can find me at youtube.com/FreshPrinceYuuup, and that's 2 U's, YUUP. So if that makes sense.
Alrighty,
cool.
Well, there you have it. And thanks for watching, everybody, and thanks for being with me today, Fresh. This was a
no problem.
Awesome, fast-paced, cool conversation. I'm glad we could talk about memes and editing styles and
for real
and Dragon Ball Z and
this is my first podcast. This was cool. I really enjoyed this. Thank you.
Yeah, likewise. Well, thanks for joining me. And
all right, Grant.
Yeah, later, everybody.
Later.